Hello everybody, Tarek37 here, and welcome to character creation for Star Wars the FFG RPG, and this time I'm making a character for a solo game. Um, haven't come up with a name yet or anything. I have like the barest concept of the character. Um, so, I am gonna be trying to run a campaign with this character. I will say, this reminds me, GM grants. Da, 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 da. No, not gonna do that. No, none of that. Okay. So last time, I think something I've run into a lot with these solo games is I'm doing this a lot with games that were not meant to be solo. They were meant to be done with a group. Um, and obviously that makes it a bit more um, difficult because you know 3 minion groups are supposed to be going up against probably at minimum 2 player characters. So I'm going to be giving myself 20 extra XP. Um, at the start because I think that is enough to hopefully let my character live a bit longer, be a bit better. Um, so yeah, and this character will actually be fully expecting combat, unlike the um, previous character who, despite having a sword, not actually being that good with the sword. Let's start with beginnings. There's a lot of different beginnings. Da, 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 da. Hmm. I'm gonna have my character be an outsider. Um, and this will come in a bit later. Attitude towards the Force. I think an ancient religion. I think that works. I'll be going a bit more into a bit later. Let's see, not quite. Um, trying to find a good. I guess I should probably explain a bit more as I'm picking this. So, outsider, ancient religion, ancient order. Not exactly, but it's close. My idea for this character is a member of Republic intelligence during the Clone Wars who was cut off from communication with the Republic um, around the time of the end of the Clone Wars. So he doesn't know what happened to the Jedi. He doesn't know what happened to the Republic or the Separatists or anything like that. He's been trapped on a planet without a way of communicating or leaving for some amount of time, and this will be his adventure coming, trying to come home, and eventually realizing that his home doesn't exist in the form that he knew it as. Um, so that's kind. Ooh, Clone Wars veteran. Yeah, I think this fits. So, a member of Republic intelligence during the Clone Wars, who, in the waning years, was sent on a mission into, we'll say, uncharted territory. And spent a long time cut off from the rest of the galaxy. Yeah, think that's good. Good one. We're going to give him an obligation and a duty. Let's roll random and see what we get. Family. I could see that, but let's keep going. Unfinished business. I mean, that's more for an engineer, but I can kind of twist that into... but that wouldn't really work, because his unfinished business is actually finished because the Separatists are freaking gone, for the most part. Vigilante, no, I don't see that being his obligation. Criminal, also don't see that. Under contract, not really. No, that wouldn't really work. Bounty. You know what? I'm gonna set it. I'm gonna set his obligation to 20, actually. Starting obligation of 20 for the bounty, but the bounty I'm gonna say won't come into effect later, because I imagine he's going to get a bounty on his head for later. Basically when he like departs. Well, actually, given he's a spy, I'm actually gonna reroll that. Sorry. Antagonist. I like that better. I think that's a much better one. He's got an antagonist, maybe a rival. A rival that was in public intelligence is now in Imperial intelligence. I like that. Next duty. We're gonna do random for this a couple times. Communications. Like, eventually I think this character will join, like, the Rebel Alliance or the, or a Rebel cell, but tactical insight, not really. Sabotage. Morale. Hold on. Let's find something, better. Let's see if I can't pick one. Information, or just general intelligence. Yeah, I think that works. And starting size for the group we'll say is 20 as well. Wait, or is it the opposite? I think it's the opposite. Yeah, I think it's the opposite for this, because you want your, as you fulfill your duty, you want it to grow. So we'll leave it at 5. Species. Now this is going to be the tough one. Human would be the easiest to like sneak around in Imperial bases without drawing attention. But there's also so many other species that could potentially have been in Republic intelligence. Maybe a more humanoid one. Maybe. Claw Diet, I think, would be going a bit too far. That would be too easy. Could go Arcanian or Arcanian offshoot. They're like human enough, but with an odd skin tone. Could go with Duros. Could go with Given. They're my favorite species in Star Wars. They're cool. But I don't think that would fit, unfortunately. I like Ithorians as well. They're very cool, and they have the Bellow move, which, which is just funny. But I kind of want to do one. I could do Nemoidian. That would be an interesting one. Actually, Duros might be a good one, because a Duros could potentially like hide among Nemoidians, given that they have a shared ancestry. Kind of like that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Career, we are going with Spy. Now the question is, what kind of spy? Scout would definitely help with surviving on an unknown planet. Infiltrator could also be good. Might be good. Slicer, I don't think works. Interrogator, I don't think works. Sleeper Agent. I have that book, but I don't want to go get it. Sleeper Agent, from what I remember, is kind of like embedding yourself into an organization and then like kind of taking it out from the inside. Like an infiltrator like breaks in and starts messing with stuff. A sleeper agent talks their way in and lies their way in and makes himself part of a place, and then gets out. So I think infiltrator. I think infiltrator might be the best one. So for career skills, we're gonna go with stealth. Gonna go with perception, deception. I'm gonna go skullduggery. I'm gonna go skullduggery here. We're going to take deception here, and we're going to take streetwise here. So we're gonna bump up cunning and agility. Let's see. 40 experience left to spend on characteristics. So I can bump up one of these to a 4, or I can bump up one of these to a 3. I think I am going to bump up... I'll bump up agility to a 4. Okay. So... Let's see. Infiltrator is doing a lot more with melee than I was hoping. And that is not what I want to be doing, so hold on. We are going to swap back. I'm going to deselect these two. Scout might be better. Let's see what they got. Let's see. Stalker's good. Quick Strike is good. Natural Hunter's good. Familiar Sons might be good. Heightened Awareness. Disorient could be good. I think this one might be a bit better for what I'm wanting at the moment. Actually, why don't we take a look at all of them? So I can take a look at Sleeper Agent. It doesn't have the data here, but over here, well-rounded, choose any 2 skills. They permanently become career skills. Creative Killer, reduce the crit rating of improvised weapons by 2 to a minimum 1. That sounds pretty good. I haven't used improvised weapons very much, so that might actually come in handy quite a bit. Convincing Demeanor. Analyze data once per session after capturing any data. Once per session. Once during the remainder of the session, you may then add... That actually seems kind of interesting. Inside person. Inside knowledge. reach. You know what? I think I am going to go with Sleeper Agent. I think that works a bit better. So, we're going to have Charm. We're going to have Discipline. Because I think those would be good for that. Specializations. Alright, let's pick some talents. I'm going to pick well-rounded. I'm going to pick at least one combat skill. I'm going to choose ranged light. Would be a good one. Honestly, survival. I think that's a good one to have. So I got that. Let's do Cunning Persona as well, since my cunning is better than my presence, so that works better. Motivations. Let's roll some random motivations. Connections, economic. No. No. Creed. Order from Chaos. Reward of experience. No. Secret security. Quest for freedom. Maybe. Nope, that's two. Relationship with a droid companion. That could be interesting. He wouldn't have the droid companion with him, but... Oh, nope. Both those are not great. Nope. Belief in honor. You know what? I kind of like that one. And I'm going to remove the code only score that matters, because I don't think that works. But I kind of like that he has like a belief in some kind of honor and feels that the Empire is the antithesis of that code of honor. Might work on that code of honor a bit later, but... Alright. So... I already have a rank in piloting space. Let's see. Let's get a rank in ranged light. And let's get a rank in survival. Since he was on that planet, which we haven't figured out which planet that is yet. Let's see, he's not very strong. Let's see, what would be a good ranged light weapon for him to have? Let's see, we're going to say probably... Actually, a slug thrower might be a better one, because a slug thrower can be silenced. And let's go with a pistol. Let's see, SH9 slug thrower pistol. Ooh. Kind of like that. Only 5 shots. Stealth 2VX palm shooter. Rarity 5. This is rarity 4. Panic pistol. Needler. That's restricted. Immediately can't get that. Can't get that either. Boomer heavy pistol. Could not get that even though I wanted it, but... Let's see, 500 credits. Honestly, I think the SH9 sounds like a good one. Again, only 5 shots, but... I'll purchase that at base cost. Immediately gonna equip it. Then armor. Oh boy. What would be a good... Well, let's search just by price to start. Because we have 250 credits left. Blast Vest, Pioneer Armor. I don't think you necessarily would have that. Common amongst outdoorsmen, scouts, and hunters. This might... well, it doesn't provide any protection, though. That's the issue. Heavy clothing provides one soak. That's better than nothing. I'll buy that. Don't have really that many other options. Heavy clothing. Give me a sec. So, next up is other gear. So, because he was like trapped on another planet, I'm gonna say he probably has like no communications stuff that he can use. Do, 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 do. On muscle, updating foundry stuff in the background. So let's see, that would not work. I don't think he'd necessarily have poisons on him. We've got 200 credits left. Wouldn't have any cybernetics, definitely not. Type. Detection surveillance devices, maybe? Protective goggles. Probably not. Let's see here. What else? What would have been good for him to have? Well, let's sort by price first. Okay, macro binoculars would be pretty good to have. Toxin detector, that I could see that actually coming in handy quite a bit on a distant planet. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with. Well, let's not. Let's stop for a second. Think a bit more. Survival. So, let's see what we got here. I'm guessing he didn't have a distress beacon, or he didn't want to activate his distress beacon, or something along those lines. Beast call, probably not. Instamist generator. Fog lasts for 3 rounds. You know, that might not be bad. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna do that one because I imagine that could come in really handy. Let's see. And now I've got 50 credits left. Oh, that was the wrong one. Sorry, I just realized I was on the. I've got there's multiple Star Wars RPGs, and I accidentally looked at the Saga Edition one. So, almost done here. 50 credits left. What would be a good thing that we can get? You know, water purifier. Just let's get that out of the way, maybe. Just have a water purifier. Just because that's important to have. Alright. No vehicles, no companions, no rewards. Now I need to just come up with a name. So, I'm going to go to the fantasy name generators. And we're just real quick going to go to pop culture, Star Wars races, Duros, and Romhen. Cool. Romhen. We're just going to choose a stock portrait of a Duros, because that's going to be the quick way. Alright, and then we're going to save Romhen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to characters. I'm going to pick Solo. Nope. Don't know who that is, actually. Romhen. And we are going to export. Okay. Romhen, Duros Spy. And now we're going to go over here. And I will let's see here. Over here. Oh, shoot. There we go. Make that significantly quieter. And over here, you have an Ogdude import, and I can find that file and let's see here. Here we go. Here we go. Romhen. Duros Spy. Chose a sleeper agent. All of his stuff is in here. He's got... None of his stuff's equipped. That's okay. Just pop that in there. Alright, Soka 2. We are currently at our threshold. Unfortunately, the Slug Thrower only has short range and a crit of 5, which is not great, but do what you can with what you got. No force dice. This guy won't have any force powers at all, unless something changes. Oh, cool, and it even imported my little notes there. And we got obligation over here, including descriptions, which is very nice. And XP, and there's an XP spend log that was added fairly recently. And I think that's it for my character creation. Thank y'all for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And hope I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.